Sometimes in football, you can find yourself quite restricted. You need something to happen before what you want to happen can occur. Sometimes you're in control of it, sometimes you're not. It's a domino effect. In regards to this potential transfer for West Ham, I think we've needed two things to happen before we could make our move. One of those things happened last week. That's good news. I think the other part is about to happen this week, which will mean that domino number two, which is West Ham, that could finally fall. I'm excited by it. I've been predicting it to happen for a few weeks now. I want it to happen, and I think it's just about to. Plus, there's a couple of reliable journalists saying it's going to happen this week as well. It will all make sense in a minute, I promise you. Stick with me. We'll be discussing that as well as a couple of new transfer rumours from different sources. Not new names. We've been linked to them in the past, but a couple of months ago now, so it's fresh transfer rumours. But before we get into it, just want to say a massive thank you to Frankie. Now, hopefully, you haven't missed me too much over the weekend. Probably didn't even notice I was gone. But I just want to say a huge thank you to Frankie. He did the watch along on Saturday. Then yesterday and Sunday, he did the debrief. So Saturday, I went to Manchester to see Oasis. And yesterday, I took my second day off of the year so I could spend it with the girls. I messaged Frankie early yesterday, very late notice for him. I said, look, can you do the debrief? I've not watched the game. I would just like to have a day off. And he said, of course I will. So he interacted with loads of you. So a big thank you to you guys as well that interacted with him on Saturday and Sunday. Some of you even got in touch with me privately via text message or by email to give feedback on Frankie. Much appreciated. Big thank you to Frankie and big thank you to you guys. And yes, Oasis was incredible. I felt happy. Saturday night, they went off for their 2 minutes before they came on to do their encore. I felt really, really happy. As many of you know, it's not been the best 7-8 months for me in my private life. I've discussed it over on like the Naked podcast where we discuss life for one reason or another. I was going to say one reason or another, for 5 reasons or 6. But Saturday, I felt good. Anyway, back to it today. Feeling good, feeling motivated. I watched the friend earlier. We'll talk about that later on in the video. But first, I want to kick it off with the transfer rumour I'm excited by, which is Mads Hermansen, the Leicester City goalkeeper. Now, the first part of the domino to fall that we needed was Graham Potter hiring his goalkeeping coach. Now, he ended up hiring 2, but Kasper Ankergen has like the lead goalkeeping role. He has a more senior goalkeeping coach role out of the 2 we just hired. He obviously had Hermansen at Brøndby. But what's important here is Potter, historically at Chelsea, at Brighton, at Swansea, has always heavily relied on the goalkeeping coach with identifying which goalkeeper to bring to the club in the first place. So we were never, you can go all the way back to May, I think, when I did the video about this, we were not going to buy a new goalkeeper until we had Javi Valero's replacements in place. They're in place now. We can get going with the goalkeeper search. The second part, which is pivotal, is Leicester bringing in a replacement for Hermansen. Now, they had a friend at the weekend. Hermansen didn't play. That would suggest they're looking after him. They're in very advanced talks for Begovic. You know who Begovic is, former Chelsea, Bournemouth goalkeeper. So they're expected to sign him on a free transfer. Once that happens, that's their domino falling. That means Hermansen can be sold. Heavily linked to him, still being linked to him. Ben Jacobs, who I still say, I think he's been possibly the second best journalist in the transfer window this window. I think he's been brilliant recently with reliable information. He's reporting today we're going to make a move this week after Begovic joins Leicester City. Some talk around a loan move. I'm not against that. If it's got an option to buy or even an obligation to buy, if we loan him in and we have to buy him next summer for 20, 25 million, I think the price tag will be round about there. I've seen the reports saying Leicester wanted 35 million last summer. They just got promoted to the Premier League. They're in a much better position in terms of being in the Premier League, so stature, but also financially. They had a year in the Premier League coming up. Where they are now, they're so up against it financially. They're probably going to have to cash in. I don't think they'll be able to take the loan with the obligation next summer. I think they need the money into the club now. But I don't think the 35 million will be the fee that's required to get him out of Leicester this summer. 20, 25 million, round about there. I think you're getting a top goalkeeper for that price tag. I think you're getting a goalkeeper that, all being well, could be at West Ham for a decade. I rate him really, really highly. Until his injury last season, I appreciate him repeating myself, but for those that are perhaps new to the channel, I think he was one of the best goalkeepers in the league. After his injury, his performances weren't as good, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. We're getting a top keeper if we get Hermansen. I believe it. I feel quite confident we'll sign him, but I really want him. Get Hermansen to the ball. Right, moving on. Also, if you are new, please do subscribe and do drop a like on the video. Click thumbs up button. 1,500 likes would be incredible. Thank you for your support. Right, Albian Hajdari. This has been reported by, I forgot his first name. Let me get it up on my phone. It is Dominic Schneider. The reason I'm mentioning him is because he's the one leading with this story now. Now, this isn't the first time we've been linked to Hajdari. That's important. We got linked to him at the end of the season. But it all went quiet. Lugano centre-back, just turned 22 years of age, left-footed. Has been called up for Switzerland, played in a friendly, but that's it. But he's been in the national squad for the last couple of occasions, on the bench for the Nations League just before Christmas, around the Christmas time when the Nations League was on. He was on the bench for them. So he's rising up. His profile's good. He's on the verge of playing first-team football for the Switzerland national side too. Schneider is the one that went with it today, exclusive. And he's claiming that the player has already agreed personal terms with West Ham. We just haven't agreed anything with the club. But he's got a minimum fee release clause of just €5 million. So just under £4.5 million, £4.3 million to you and I. That's within the UK. The other 25% of you, it's €5 million. That's the release clause. So it's nothing offensive, nothing that feels like it's something we couldn't agree a deal for. So this is good. The reason Schneider's important is he was the one that broke Petrovic to Bournemouth. He's got credit in the bank as far as I'm concerned with this transfer window. He was the one that broke Petrovic, was leaving Chelsea to join Bournemouth. That's happened. So that exclusive he had, it came true. He also did Wagner to Augsburg. He was the one that broke that one as well a couple of months ago. Got that right. He's claiming this. Feels very familiar though, doesn't it, to Diouf with Slavia Prague to West Ham. It came out. Personal terms agreed. It's just between the clubs now. But I feel that came true. Feels a little bit similar, this one. In terms of the player, I've never seen him. Never seen him. Hadn't heard of him until we got linked to him previously. Don't know anything. Well, I do know a little bit, but only facts. 22 years, left-footed centre-back. Played about 120 games and as a senior player, 100 at centre-back, 20-odd at left-back. So he can cover that position, which feels like it makes sense given our desire to sell a Gerd. That would be a Gerd's replacement, and for £5 million, even if we had to pay a bit more just to get the payment structure to suit us, you're looking at maybe a £10 million net profit just to keep it simple, at least with selling a Gerd and bringing him in. People that do know him seem quite excited by it. I think it would be a good signing for us. I don't have an opinion on the player. I'm just reporting the news. Now, before we get on to Sudakov, and I want to have a little chat about the friendly, this video is sponsored by Surfshark. This is the place where you want to go if you want to get a VPN on your electronic devices. A VPN helps keep what you have safe. When you're on your phone, you're connected to your Wi-Fi, whether you're at home or you're in a public space, it doesn't matter. Your VPN with Surfshark continues working just the same as it would do if you were in the comfort of your own home. It's to give you an extra layer of security, stop people having a look at what you are up to. But there's a few perks as well. It's not just that boring. It's not just security. It allows you to change your geolocation. So right now, let's just say there was something on the telly that you wanted to watch. There was something on a catch-up player that you wanted to watch that you were not allowed to watch because you weren't in the right country. No problem. You can just change the location of your phone. So if there was something on in America right now I wanted to watch, I go on Surfshark on my phone, say, oh, I'm in America now. My phone goes, okay, you're in America now. I go, brilliant. I go on to what I want to watch as if I was in America. And that provider will go, you can watch it now. You're in America. I said, brilliant. Thank you for that. And I can watch it. So if I wanted something on American YouTube, for example, or American Netflix that wasn't here in the UK, no problem. I can sort it. Now, we've got a special offer for you. 4 months free. How do you get that offer? I hear you ask. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. Patience. Patience. Go to surfshark.com/HammersChat. You get 4 months free. But if you get it and you think, Shouldn't have listened to that, Gio. Don't want this anymore. That's all right. That's okay. Just go onto your Surfshark app, close your account down, and get your money back. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee. All your money back within 30 days. So you can sign up, have peace of mind that your phone's now got a bit more security, but also have another peace of mind that if you decide you don't want your VPN, you can get a full refund, no questions asked. It's as simple as that. Plus, by the way, you're thinking, oh no, got my phone, got my computer, got my kid's phone. Don't worry. You only need to sign up once, you pay once, one account, unlimited devices. So get Surfshark on your phone, get it on your computer, get it on your kid's device as well. Job done. Everyone's protected with one payment, which of course came with 4 months extra free. Links in description below, surfshark.com/hammerchat. Right, Sudakov, this one's been reported by Nico, the journalist who was close with David Moyes. Now, he has got a couple of things wrong with West Ham, but he kind of got it right. So when we were coming to the end of David Moyes' tenure, I remember this, he said, well, Moyes will sign a new contract. Now, arguably, he was correct in the sense that Moyes got offered a contract. But he got it wrong, that Moyes, because he was insistent Moyes had been offered a contract and it'll get signed. Well, he got half of it right, didn't he? I think the desire for Moyes to sign it, I still think that was there. It's just that there was maybe something to do with Tim Steidten in it, that he didn't like him, wanted that piece removed. Moyes has said this on podcasts since leaving West Ham. My point is, his credibility is there. He's reporting that we're after Sudakov of Shakhtar, an attacking midfielder, 22 years of age, turns 23 very, very soon. 30 million is the price tag. Now, his report is that West Ham have been speaking to people in the middle. There's people in the middle of Shakhtar and West Ham. They're being sounded out about the potential of him joining the club for 30 million. Last season, 13 goals and 4 assists for Shakhtar in the league in 25 appearances. But he also did grab a couple of goals in Champions League football as well. Now, he's one of these players that I've heard of. I couldn't tell you anything about it. I've seen Shakhtar play now and again, but I couldn't tell you much about him. So I'm going to leave that to you, lovely lot. So you've got a strong opinion on Sudakov. Please do get involved below. But it's another attacking midfielder that we're being linked to. Now, I'm not ignoring the striker news that's come out today. I'm just going to discuss it tomorrow or Wednesday because I'm in a good mood. And I think it's one of those things, if I start talking about it, I might end up getting a bit grumpy and ranty. And no one needs that from me on Monday morning. Positive vibes. Speaking of positive vibes, what's your friendly today? The first thing I'm going to say, though, is I don't know who the commentator was with Matt Jarvis. Kind of disagree, actually kind of. I totally disagree with what he was saying about the first half being a back four and the second half being a back three. I've seen both halves very, very similar. So in the first half, I thought in possession it was a back four. Scarles was pushing out to left back. Kane was becoming a bit of a left winger. Wan-Bissaka was holding the width on the right. But out of possession, I very much seen it as Scarles dropping back in next to Kilman and Kane dropping back into a left wing back role. Because if it was a back four, then how did we look further up the pitch? Was it 4-3-3? Well, there was no way Bowen was playing as a right winger or anything like that. Bowen was a striker in that first half. I'm adamant it was a front two of Fulkrug and Bowen and a midfield three of Irving and Ward-Prowse sort of as number 8s and Rodriguez holding. I thought Wan-Bissaka was just a wing back in possession and out of possession. He was getting forward as much as he could, but also defending. But on the left side, I thought we were trying a bit of a hybrid thing with Scarles and Kane. In the second half, I thought we just flipped it. On this occasion, Diouf was now the one as a wing back, up and down that left side on his own. But Casey was sort of a right centre back / right back. So in possession, Guilherme would get far forward as he could, become a winger, but out of possession, drop back in, allow Casey just to get a little bit closer to Mavropanos, who would then get a little bit closer to Gerd and push a Gerd out to the left a little bit more. That's how I seen it anyway. Maybe I'm the one that's wrong here. Well, one of us is, but that's certainly how I seen it. I thought it was interesting because the formation was the thing I was sort of looking for the most for this match. Are we going to play a back four or back three sort of long term? And I've almost just got confirmation that this back three thing's here to stay. We're just going to see different variations of it and different styles of it. I'm not against that. But this is where the personnel can be quite key. Because in the first half, Wan-Bissaka was fine. I thought Todibo had a good 45 minutes. On the left side, though, I don't think it was Kone's best performance, which is a shame because I was really rooting for him. Now, I knew nothing about the friendly. Before I went to watch it this morning, I knew we won 3-1 and who the scorers were. That was it. I haven't listened to anyone's review or anything like that. So when I saw Cornet, I thought, right, okay, come on. Let's have a good performance from you. Make yourself an option, even if it's just for the next friendly. Make Potter think, you know what, I'm going to give him another run out. And there's a couple of moments he looked all right, but there's other times where it was just a bit not quite great. However, his confidence coming into pre-season must be pretty low right now. He must be starting off not feeling good about himself. Now, I think you saw an example in the second half of a player with a complete opposite mentality and confidence in Callum Marshall, who had a successful season at Huddersfield, picking up player of the season, comes back to West Ham pre-season training. He's probably got his chest puffed out. That goal was a striker that was feeling good, feeling confident, that had almost brought last season's momentum into this pre-season with him already. I think there was a significant difference between the two of them in terms of just oozing that confidence, because there were a couple of occasions Cornet had the opportunity to put a ball in, they weren't great, and he got a third one and he found Fulkrug and the shot was blocked. I thought, right, more of those passes please. I was really rooting for him to sort of step up, and I don't think he did it. Irving looked good. I thought Ward-Prowse looked good as well, I have to say. Up front, I think Fulkrug and Bowen, I think although Bowen set Irving up and looked bright in one or two spells, I don't think it was his busiest 45 minutes. I think I'm still unsold of him as a striker, but we'll discuss that with the striker topic tomorrow or Wednesday. Scars was okay. The thing is, everybody was sloppy at some point. Everybody had a misplaced pass. Everybody maybe took a touch too much or overhit it slightly or anything. But it's the first game back. It doesn't bother me. It's about fitness. It's about just getting back onto the game, having, I always say a competitive game. It's not, but that friendly. But there was a bit of tempo to it. I mean, just 30 bookings hand out. That doesn't happen. I mean, Rodriguez, a couple of naughty fouls from him, weren't it, for a friendly? But I liked from what I seen from the way we're trying to do the tactics and stuff. I've heard Fulkrug say Potter's making us do different things in and out of possession, which is good to hear, but I want to see it. And I felt like I've seen it for the duration of the game. Second half, I thought Marshall looked good. Really fantastic goal. Absolute fantastic goal. Pick it up to run at the defender. Orford was there, but he didn't use him. He took it on. Great finish. Then the pass for Paqueta to take that shot, which led to the weirdest penalty award I've ever seen. I've watched it back, and I know it's supposedly for handball. I don't even see the handball. It came off the top of the guy's head. But anyway, the pass from Marshall, though, was excellent. A couple of occasions, though, I thought he got in Duff's way. He chased the ball out there, and he should have just left it, but he wanted to pick it up and wanted to get on the ball. Just eager to impress. It's not a bad thing. But I feel like on a couple of times, I think he'd have been better off leaving him and getting in the box. And that's what I will say. The one thing I've taken away from this the most, because it is Diouf, he's the only new signing, right? That's who you're looking at going, come on, well, what's this guy about? I'm going to watch him. Delivers the ball early. Really, really early. You get the ball out to him, it's coming in the box. Now, on a couple of occasions, it hit the first man and it got cleared. Not ideal, but two things. One, if you're putting it in early enough, there's at times you're going to be crossing that ball. The defence are going to be facing their own goal. They don't like that. If you're a defender, you do not want to be facing towards your own goal, especially if you're within the width of the goal. If you're facing your goalkeeper in the eyes and you're trying to clear a ball that's coming in from the side, that's difficult. That's easy to make a mistake. And when I say make a mistake, you might just put it out for a corner. But if there's ever going to be a sliced clearance, that's the situation you're going to be in probably. So those crosses coming in early at times will be behind the defence. Not a bad thing. Second, your teammates will get used to it. There's nothing worse, I can imagine, as a striker, that when the ball goes wide, the winger takes ages. And Benrahma was like this. On a couple of occasions, Benrahma would whip it in early. But more often than not, he would just slow it down. Now, if he did that every time, you get used to it. But occasionally, like Benrahma mixed up, which makes it difficult for the defenders. But I tell you what, as his teammate, it must be infuriating because you don't know what he's going to do. So it's hard to know when to time your run, how to make your run. You might think he's going to put it in early, so you make that dart and run to the front post, but he's still, encroaching on his defender jockeying. You've lost it. You're out of the game. You've made your run. You're out of the picture. You've got to reverse almost. I don't think that's going to be the thing with Diouf. Every time that ball went out to him, he was getting quite often first touch, whack, into that box. There was that one that caused a little bit of carnage with, still don't know how Souček didn't score. Then I still don't know how Marshall didn't score off the rebound. But Those types of crosses I'm going to enjoy watching as a fan. But if you're Fulkrug or your Souček or your Jared Bowen, and you know every time the ball goes out there, he's hitting it in early, you know to make your run. You know it's coming in the box. That makes a huge difference to you as an offensive player. I liked what I seen, actually. The question I've got coming out of today's friendly into the next one, which is against Man U, is, well, this how I seen us play with the sort of hybrid wing, one player being a wing back, another one being a wing back / winger, and a bit hybridy. What if you're going to do Diouf and Wan-Bissaka? How are you gonna do that? Which one's going to be just the wing back? That's what I'm intrigued to see, and I'm hoping that I'll get that answered against Man U. I'd like to see them both start because I want to see how we link up with it. Maybe the solution is Wan-Bissaka sort of dropping back a little bit and the winger being there, so that when we do have possession, Somerville or Guilherme gets really far forward and Wan-Bissaka can follow him almost as a right back. Don't know. That's the big question I've got. But I like Todibo's performance. I thought Ward-Prowse was all right in the first half as well. Then in the second half, Diouf looked bright. I thought Paqueta looked busy. It's hard to read into it because it's a friendly. But like I said, nobody was perfect. No one was 10 out of 10. But I'm not bothered. I enjoyed it enough for a friendly. And I'm looking forward to the next one. Saturday night, isn't it? Midnight kickoff, I think, against Man U. Saturday night, Sunday morning. Technically Sunday morning, but you know what I mean. Anyway, that's my thoughts. But again, thank you to Frankie. Thank you to you guys. Let me know what you think of Hajdari and Sudakov if you know much about him, and also Hermansen. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have a little catch up then. But thank you very much for joining me. Please do drop a like on the video before you disappear. Subscribe to Hammers Chat. And our raffle will be live tomorrow. Our July raffle. Top prize. Match worn Mark Noble shirt. A very rare shirt too because of that NHS patch in the middle. We obviously wore this shirt during COVID. NHS patch. You couldn't buy this shirt from West Ham. So it's a rare shirt. It's a match worn shirt by Mark Noble, but it's also rare as well because of that patch. That's the top prize. The raffle will go live tomorrow. There'll be another couple of good prizes in there. But if you tune into tomorrow's video with myself or Gonzo, you'll get told about the raffle then. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Catch you in a bit.